let's start with the most important words of this interview that we're going to do, and that's by saying welcome to Raith Rovers, Ian Murray, our new manager. How does it feel?
Thank you. It feels great, to be here. It was, something that happened very quickly. I have to also, give my full gratitude towards Airdrie FC and their board of directors who made this transition for myself and Raith very smooth.
It's the dawn of a new era around about Starks Park. How did it feel for yourself as you get in the car this morning and you put on the sat-nav for Pratt Street, Kirkcaldy?
Yeah, it's exciting. You want to get into the club and get a feel for it, get a feel for the stadium, the people you're going to be working with, get a look at the pitch, your working environment, if you like, before you get down to the nitty-gritty of the squad situation and seeing who's in there and who's maybe going to move on and targets that you possibly want to try and get over the line. So exciting times. It always is when you go to a new club. There's always trepidation as well because you're desperate to do so well. But it's the ultimate feeling is excitement.
You had a journey to complete with Airdrie, as you referenced there. At what point did your mind then switch over to our team in our navy blue jerseys and the journey ahead?
Not until it was the middle of last week when Raith Rovers contacted Airdrie. Up until that point, my mind was fully focused on getting Airdrie into the championship. Unfortunately, we never got to our goal. Very unfortunate throughout the season not to have achieved that. But it wasn't until the middle of the week. Up until then, I was planning fully on trying to bring targets into Airdrie. Even as far as Thursday, we had player meetings at Airdrie about next season. So over the weekend, it kind of moved on a little bit.
What's the big attraction of Costadale, Kirkcaldy and Starks Park?
Well, I think the championship obviously it was a huge incentive for myself. I think there's also the club, as well. They've kind of floated around League One to Championship in the last, 5 to 10 years. I think there's a huge opportunity, huge potential here. A nucleus of a really good squad, and also a new challenge for myself, in terms of do my methods work elsewhere, because I think that's a sign of a good manager if they can go somewhere else and put their ideas into place and players are receptive to them and see results at the end of the day.
When you speak about your own methods and trying them in a new environment, how would you describe Ian Murray as a manager?
Changed from 8-9 years ago at Dumbarton, where it was all about grinding out results to try and stay in the league, and the hustle and bustle of being nice and compact and fighting all over the pitch and just gaining points enough to get us to safety. Obviously, being a part-time club, that was kind of our goal. Airdrie was slightly different. It was a slower build, but we knew we would have to have built slowly there. And then this season, our boys were outstanding. They really were. I couldn't have asked for any more from that group of players. They were to a man, just incredible people to work with, which helped me, gave me a lot of energy from them. And I hope to do the same here. The way we played was very, very high pressing game. Everybody knew that. So to do that, you need to be extremely fit, which is one of my biggest things that I will emphasise to this group of players, that we have one non-negotiable, and that is no team outworks us. Some teams might beat us sometimes, and they might play better than us on the day, but they won't outwork us.
I'm smiling as you say that, thinking the players that will be watching this interview and thinking about their pre-season that's going to lie ahead. It's going to be another tough one, but it is something that our previous manager focused on as well, so we're no surprise. Yeah,
look, pre-season's about getting fit. I don't think any player particularly enjoys it. They want to be, going into games, competitive matches, but pre-season's vitally important, where you get your platform for the season. I'm the first to admit that I enjoy watching the boys running around, not really because I want to get involved and get into tactics stuff and get the ball out with them as well, but I do understand the importance of it, and I give full trust to the fitness side of it, to the people that know what they're doing. But the players will need to be fit. If they're not fit, we can't play the way we want to play, and if we can't play the way we want to play, we won't win games.
Have you seen much of the Championship across last season and now the season before?
Saw bits and pieces of it, obviously more live games last season on TV mainly. It was the same as the season before because of the COVID situation where we couldn't really get into games. I saw the cup. I was at the cup final, the SPFL Trust Trophy, which obviously Raith Rovers won. So managed to see a few games, particularly towards the end of the season, because obviously our playoff position, we weren't sure who we were going to be playing against. But I think there's some good players in the league, but I also think there's a lot of room for improvement.
can remember the SPFL Trust Trophy Day and actually seeing you at Airdrie Stadium having arrived so early with RaithTV to set up. Did you get a sense any of the players that you'll be working with from that day? Anything that sticks in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the big striker on loan had probably one of his best games of the season, an absolute handful at both ends of the park that day. You know, he was doing excellent defending, you know, set plays and scoring the goals. I mean, I knew some of the players anyway. We played against them a lot in the league, and you know, Christoph Berra, who wasn't playing as part of the squad, but knew him from the Edinburgh derbies. Jamie McDonald, obviously, as well. You know, Brad Spencer was down at Dumbarton in League One, and you know, Jamie Gullen, Sam Stanton, two boys from Hibs, or where they started at Hibs. So you know, I know the squad fairly well, but we'll need to get a good look at them as well over pre-season.
It's a strong squad that you inherit. It's a squad that's maybe didn't quite reach its potential last season, but gives you a good foundation.
Absolutely, yeah. It's not going to be a huge revamp, which is good, because continuity is key in everything you do, and stability. Of course, we want to add a few players that we think can bring value to the squad, but also give these guys an opportunity to show everybody what they can do. And there is good players in the squad. There's no doubt about that. And the way that John had Raith Rovers playing was fantastic. You know, again, I think John changed his style over the years, as managers do, and I always felt when in League One against Raith, I felt they were the best footballing team, and that we didn't quite have the team at that time to compete against them. So I learnt a lot from watching Raith that season in terms that you can do it, and I think the pitch also here at Starks Parks will help us.
Have you already turned your mind to picking up that phone and looking at people to come in and potentially people whose contracts need to be re-examined? Yeah.
Obviously yesterday was a bit of a whirlwind day. A lot of things going on, and you know, try to look at everything. So we'll do that again, you know, today, tomorrow, and over the weekend, and see where we are in terms of our pre-season schedule, see who we think can add value to the squad. I mean, there's obviously good players out there, and I think the reputation that John's built here as a footballing side appeals to a lot of players, but we need to make sure we get the right ones. You know, it's not going to be a case of quantity, I don't think, but the quality is vitally important. I mean, I prefer myself to work with a tighter squad anyway, because I think it creates a better environment for the players.
So to reassure supporters, there's already the wheels are in motion in terms of adding that extra bit of quality.
Yeah, we all want to see good players. We want exciting players that can take the ball and understand what to do without the ball, because you know, we all want to have the ball 60-70% of the time in a game, but unfortunately it's not always the case. So when we don't have it, we need to be, you know, very well drilled in what we're doing, almost like clockwork, and that comes from the players. The management and the staff can only guide them and give them ideas. Once they're over the white line, the players take full responsibility on how the game is played. Yes, we can tweak things here and there within that 90 minutes, but the players have to be mentally ready for that, and if they're not mentally ready for it, it's very difficult.
And that's going to be helped with the retention of a full-time squad?
Yeah, absolutely. Working with the players on a very continuous schedule, slightly different that we had at Airdrie, which was a hybrid. It was very difficult at times, but that's the way we've done it, and it worked for us. So it'll be good to get them in, you know, every morning, see them fresh-faced, full of energy, give them recovery time when it's needed. But you know, I'm a manager that likes to work six days a week, so the players will need to adapt to that.
Who's going to be helping you in this journey?
We're still in negotiations at the moment. I'm all very hopeful of bringing Scott Agnew in. You know, we've worked very well together. Scott's got a few other things in his personal life to sort out in terms of business commitments, but we struck it off really well. I'd known Scott for a long time. I had him at Dumbarton, I signed him for St Mirren, and then you know, we parted ways at that point, and then came together last season. Scott was a player assistant, which at the time I wasn't sure, because I thought it was going to be a hard dynamic to have, but it was actually great. He knows what he's doing. He's a very calm guy, a very good communicator with the players, very honest with the players, and he gives you a real sense of trust.
Supporters are obviously going to want me to pin you down and say, tell me exactly who you're going to be signing, tell me exactly who you're going to be re-signing, but I've got a feeling that we'll be coming on to these in the kind of interviews that lie ahead for us. So what I will finish by doing is just handing over to yourself and saying, what's your message to Raith Rovers supporters tuning in to hear what our manager's saying?
Well, I think it's, you know, vitally important. I've always said it, without patronising anybody. The clues in the title: support. You know, the players need all the support they can get from the management, but they also need it from the stands. We want to try and build a connection with the players and the supporters in both ways, and we do that by playing good football. They do that by backing the players through bad times as well. Everybody's going to make mistakes, but it won't be for the lack of trying. We can all handle mistakes. It's the other side of it. If players give absolutely everything, we hope the supporters give us that back.
You've been here on duty with other teams. Is it part of the draw here, the potential that you've seen in the stands as well as what you've seen in the pitch, and you'll have seen that at the cup final recently as well?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you look around the stadium, you know, it's set up to be a very successful football club. We'd all love to be in the Premier League. We know that. It's not a pipe dream. I'm not going to say it's going to happen tomorrow or next week, because it won't. It might take a little bit of time, but there's absolutely no reason when I look at clubs like Ross County and Livingston going up into the Premier League that Raith Rovers can't follow suit. Great club with great tradition, with great players that they've produced over the years as well, and we want to try and bring that sort of feeling back here.
I'm sure that's going to excite people as the marketing people get ready to put the season ticket responses out there. Meantime, we'll say where we started. Congratulations to our new manager, Ian Murray, and we look forward to working with you across the coming years.
Thank you, me too.